What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about a few different Grayscale trusts today. We're going to be going over FILG for Nicolio. We're going to be talking about HZEN for CHZEN, LTCN, and BCHG for BCHG, with some summertime price actions for Jeff. Yeah, let's see. Okay, yes, I was just doing analysis on this actually, guys. I had another technical issue. I literally just made a video on this, so this kind of says it all. Okay, I think FILG, being that volume's dying off, being that you literally just had a 75% week, I think it's fair to say that you're going to see a little bit of a pullback. You're at your 1618 golden extension. You literally closed right at it. You came up here, found resistance at the 1272 area, bounced off the 886 classic, and then you built higher. You haven't found support on your 1272. I think this is a constructive looking fib, and in that theme, the essence of constructiveness, you want to find a higher low at key areas, which I think 77 to 107 is the likely target that you're going to go. So I think something like that absolutely could happen. 45 to 61% of a drop from the high. We've seen it here, right top to bottom. It's a 57% drop. That literally fits within the range that I just outlined. So anyways, it wouldn't be crazy to go to the 886, but the fact that you already found support on it tells me that I don't think we need to right now. I think the 1272 suffices. So anywhere between 77 and 31 is still fine for this thing, but I'm more looking at this 107 to $77 area, specifically the $77 area. Anyways, that's FILG. I think we're going to take a break. If we go up from here, it's not going to be by much. Look at the daily RSI. We do have some bearish divergence presenting itself. I mean, it is confirmed technically with the red day closing, but that can change if we move up higher. It is possible. But let's actually look at Filecoin real quick. Filecoin showing some bearish divergence. Volume's dying as you're moving up. This is a breakout of sorts, but it might turn around. Let's see how today goes, man. Let's see how the next couple days go, because you might get some follow through. Oh, you're right. You're right at your resistance area, man. It could break out. It could do some breakout stuff. Also, being that you're right here, you might consolidate for a couple more weeks and then move up. That wouldn't be bad at all. It's very normal to do, actually. You kind of look like you'd want to, but that volume's not bad. It's really actually not bad, to be fair. I don't like the decrease in volume with the increase in price. I don't like that personally, but it doesn't matter what I like, man. Bullish 4-hour, bullish daily, bullish weekly, all of it's bullish. You do have bearish divergence presenting itself, though it's not confirmed. You might be breaking out, man. FILG might move up if Filecoin continues to move up. I think a close above like 975, maybe above like this high right here. 950, is that what that is? A close above 950 would do it for me. I'd be pretty convinced that you're moving up on a weekly basis. So 19 hours, 45 minutes left. Can you do it? If not, obviously just getting above like this high here at $11 would be enough. And I know 926 right now, $11 is a hell of a ways away. But if you break $11, the reason why that's a key number to pay attention to is that would send us up at least to about 14 bucks, because we probably go through that 382. Likely we'd go up to $40 to $56. So that's why this area is key to watch. From this white line at 950 to the tip here at $11, it's a key area to watch. I don't know how to feel about it, man. I wouldn't be surprised if it continued to move up. If it broke out here, I also wouldn't be surprised at all if you consolidated for a little bit, because that's a pretty normal thing to do. You are at your 1272 as well. It's hard to say. It's hard to say, man. I want to see how. I think the next couple days will really be a telling point, because you're either going to go now or you're not. So the next couple days will really let us know for sure. You're not going to need too much time to know, but for anybody that's not in, if you're looking at Filecoin and you want to get in, man, this is like your last stop. Sure, you might pull all the way back to 760. Buying here is not ideal. You'd have to be willing to hold through a potential loss, sure. But the gains are so much more than that, man. If you're looking to get into Filecoin or FILG, if you have no exposure, I think you're playing it more risky by not being in than you are waiting for lower prices. But to be fair, for FILG's sake, I do think it wants to pull back lower. Let's see how Filecoin does. I'm sure it depends on that as well, but everything is so bullish right now, man. That will come to an end. I'm actually kind of curious. Crypto Fear and Greed Index. That's what it's called. Oh, it's going to be, yep, I knew it was going to be right. Extreme greed, you guys. We're at an 83, you guys. Euphoria. It's awesome. Haven't seen stuff like this since the height of the bull cycle. So, anyways, if that tells you where we are as a space. Yes, like I said, I made a video before this, so I've got a little bit of TA done on this. 618 area, it wouldn't be uncommon to pull back to the 0.5. I'm not looking for the 382 because you spent so much time in here, so generally I would look for that 382 after a 61869 rejection, but I think you're going to pull back to the 0.5 around $2.20 and then continue to build up. Higher low, makes sense, constructive on the fibs, blah, 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 it all looks good. Pretty hot on the weekly RSI. You're going to have to cool off at some point. If you go higher, cool. It's not going to be too much. It's not going to be too sustainable. You're going to give it back if you go up. So even if it goes up from here, I would advocate patience, but none of this is financial advice. Bearish divergence, volume's dying off, you're starting to roll over. I mean, it all looks right for lower prices in my opinion. And again, that would be around 220 is where I think HZEN is going. If we look at ZEN real quick, ZEN has some bearish divergence, though it's not confirmed. With today's close on a red day, that might confirm it. ZEN also really near its breaking out point, man. It's very common, you guys, to consolidate around the point that you're going to break out. It's also sometimes pretty common to just rip right through it, but and this is crypto, and that does happen. But I really wouldn't be surprised if you consolidated for a couple more weeks and then moved up. And in that time, maybe HZEN moves down. I say a couple weeks. It could be a couple months. Like, it really could. And that seems like so long, but like, let's see. We're in the beginning of March right now. A couple months is right here. We could consolidate right here in this little box for a couple months and then boom, then bust it. You know, I mean, that wouldn't look bad at all. But where you're going to go is $40 to $50 whenever it's all said and done. I think you're going to see $19 very fast, but up here is where you're going to go for ZEN. So when ZEN breaks out, I bet HZEN will do well as well. And that could happen any day now. I know I was saying a couple months, but it could happen today. It could happen tomorrow. You are at the precipice. You're at the cusp of this breakout of accumulation, okay? Where is the breakout point? Let's be very clear on that. I think around there, yeah, 1265. Get a week to close above 1265, and it's on to the upside, man. Even a couple days. Get multiple days closing above there. But that's HZEN and ZEN. Let's talk about LTCN. Yes, I'm going to get straight to the point, guys, because this is where I kind of like got lost in my last video was trying to, I don't know, clarify that yes, I am bullish on LTCN right now. I am bullish. I believe that the prices that I've been looking for, that I've been talking about for quite some time, are off the table, unfortunately, for anybody looking to get in at lower prices. From low to high here, you didn't even hit your 382. It's a very uncommon thing to do. But technically speaking, and I know I said it down here, but I still implied that we would go down, is that not even hitting your 382 is a bullish look. It normally is a bullish look, but you know, I just really thought that we would see this 0.5, this 1, 2, 3 weekly moving average. It would make sense from kind of a breakout point, pull back to your point that you broke out, previous areas of resistance become support. It just all made sense to me, man, but apparently what makes sense doesn't matter. And maybe it didn't make sense. Maybe I'm crazy, because things do look like they're bullish right now, that like they want to go up. The main reason that I think they're going to go up is not because of the LTCN chart. In fact, this chart to me does not give enough conviction to make me think that we're going to be bullish and go up. This is not the chart that makes me be bullish. The chart that's making me bullish right now is the underlying assets chart, which is this thing right here, man. Just incredible, Litecoin, incredible. I didn't know you had it in you, Litecoin, and you're doing it right now. Litecoin is up 33% this week, you guys. What the hell? That's the most bullish week we've seen since the bull cycle. Like literally the last time we saw a 30% week or larger was November of 2021. The height of the bull cycle, literally. We're seeing it now with solid volume on an accumulation, or I should say a consolidation phase. That's a breakout candle, and we're breaking above the 123. The first time we've been above the 123 really since the bear cycle, the bear market started. This is a good sign. This is definitely a good sign. So generally speaking, in my experience with this stuff, whenever you see a move up above the green line, you can go a little bit past it, sure, but generally that first move, you might consolidate for a little bit and then continue onwards, but I very much doubt that you're going to go back below it. I doubt that we're going to see prices. We're at 93 now. I doubt we go below $80 potentially ever again for Litecoin, man. It might not ever go down there again. Yes, I was wrong. I made a call multiple times that I thought we were going to go to $45 to $55. I was wrong. If you're mad at me, then that's I don't know what to tell you, because really if you're mad at me, what that tells me is that you're mad at yourself, because you had no exposure. You were looking to buy this and now it went up without you, right? Because if I was wrong, you shouldn't be mad at me, because you should have had some exposure even at these levels, right? I've been packed for crypto, you guys, for a long time now, for months. I mean, my most recent purchases aside, that I made like a week ago or two weeks ago, those purchases aside, the last purchases I made were like half a year ago, or like just under half a year ago, and beyond that, like I've been loading up for a while. I know I've been advocating that for a while. It might not be a point of conversation that comes up all the time, but if you have zero exposure, it's a lot more risky to have zero exposure than it is to wait for lower prices, right? And this is one of the reasons why. You never know when crypto can do what it does best, man, and just surprise you one day with a big old green candle. It's a very real move. This is absolutely a breakout. You know what I mean? This is absolutely a breakout. So if you were looking to get into LTC, if you were waiting for lower prices as I was, and you were surprised by this candle, my best advice, and it's not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but my genuine best advice, my best opinion would be to either look somewhere else or wait for a pullback. And I do think it will pull back a little bit. I just don't think, I stand by what I was saying, I don't think you're going to go below $80 again, or much past this green line even. I would think, I mean, yeah, man, really $80 is probably like the lowest I would give it, if it was to even go there. You might be continuing further up, because this is only the first week that you've broken out. You could continue up a little bit more and then see a pullback back down here. So would I advocate a buy here? Not really. Because even if it goes up, I bet it will pull back to these prices, or a little bit lower than these prices, even at least around these prices. I would rather, the way that I am as an investor, as a trader, I would rather buy up here versus down here, because this is during a move up, where this is at the pullback, after the pullback. So that's my style. I like to buy on the pullbacks, not chase, but do what you want, man. If you had zero exposure, even all this time, you were watching my videos, you were with me on the opinion that it was going to go lower here, and it didn't, but you had zero exposure, you are in a very tough situation. Because me, myself, I don't own any Litecoin. I don't plan on owning any of it, but I was calling for Bitcoin Cash to go back down to about $200 or $160 even, and I changed that a few weeks ago. I changed my opinion on that, but at no point did I sell any, right? If this was Bitcoin Cash or me, if this was LTC, if I owned LTC, a lot of it, or even a little bit of it, and I thought the prices would go down here, I wouldn't be selling anywhere in this zone. I would just be waiting to add more, right? And there's nothing wrong with DCAing throughout this range. So I really hope anybody and everybody who is waiting for lower prices, I hope that you already have some skin in the game. You're catching this move up. It is a nice move for sure for LTC. And I'm getting caught up in the in all the words right now, because I need to get back to the to the TA, man. 93 on the daily RSI, very, very hot, very, very strong looking RSI right now. You could go higher. That is a pretty hot RSI, you guys. That is a pretty hot one. I mean, you don't really go too much higher after that, do you? I mean, that's like a 90. You're literally at your highs right now on your RSI. Like, look at all, once, twice. Yeah, a little double top there, right? 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. This is the 7th time in Litecoin's history, at least on this chart, that we've ever seen you being this hot. So let's just look at that, actually. Let's look at that. And this has a point with LTCN, right? Odds are, whatever Litecoin does, LTCN is going to multiply, right? Here, the very first time that we saw this ever happen, we saw a quick drop from one day to another of 32%, right? Just again advocating why it might not be, that's not right, I'm sorry, 42% essentially, why it might not be a good time to buy here, okay? We saw another top, a momentary top there, and again, kind of what I was saying is, like relative to this move, we're like here, right? Even if it goes up, it'll likely come back. You might have to buy a slight little bit higher, but at least you get the pullback. But that move in itself, 42%, this was 37.5%. This move here from top, we'll do the relative high, sure. Relative high to this relative low. We won't get that low, we'll just get this low. 47%. 42, 37, 47. Let's call that 48, round up a little bit. Next time over here, dramatically larger drop. These are early days too, so we might not see that kind of volatility. I mean, the more immediate drop here was about a 40% drop. So taking all of that into consideration, and right here as well, this high, I mean, that low is 20%, but really, I mean, you did something like that, 35%, yeah, which sounds about right. Taking all of those into consideration, being that this is one of the most bullish weeks, the most bullish week you've seen since 2021, could it be under the realm of expectations to see a somewhat dramatic drop from here? Sure. But are we going to get a 40%, 60% drop? Probably not. I really don't think that we will. I think, again, those were in the earlier days. I think we're in more tame times in the market in Litecoin's history. So I think a pullback anywhere really from like maybe we go to $78 to $80, that shouldn't be thrown out of the equation. Or maybe I'm looking at this wrong. Maybe you continue to grow, and then you do end up having, like, maybe even go even higher than that, and you have a 30% pullback, but it takes you up here, something like that. Either way, I think Litecoin is due for a little bit of a correction, but it doesn't have to happen right now, right? I say due. Maybe I should say I expect it. It's not due for a correction. I suppose it's due to let loose the goose, man. But it's not just going to do that in a straight line, right? Even from here, from October 2022 to February of 2023, it seems like a straight line more or less, but it was anything but that, right, all the way up. So, yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else here. I mean, here's a good example too, right? You broke above the green line, you pulled back to it. Could we go higher? Absolutely. We could go up to like 115. That'd be like the highest that I'd give it, but we probably do pull back down to these prices or lower. So I'm just spitballing ideas here. Litecoin to me does look bullish with this potential drop that might happen today. It might happen after we move up higher. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I would think that because Litecoin's moved up this much, LTCN is going to see a breakout too. I think next week is going to be glorious for LTCN. We're probably going to see this thing move up from top to bottom here. You're going to see it at $23.5 to $31.4. It's a nice move above your 618 on a second pass. I mean, this technically right now, you guys, this is a likelihood based off of this chart, right? Yeah. Still lower highs. The downside is still possible, but I don't think it's likely at all. I think you're going to break this high. It's a weird looking chart, man. I would have thought it was going down, but the underlying asset takes domain over it, I would say. And of course, they're not 100% correlated, but I think if Litecoin's doing well, LTCN's going to do well. Same thing for BCHG now. BCHG, man. Oh yeah, you wanted me to do summertime prices for LTCN. That might be hard, Timing is a really kind of fickle thing to do. But let's just say June here, right, and then to August, end of August right there, somewhere in this time frame. Let's see. Top to bottom. You could be at $57 to $84 by the summer. Sometime in the summer you could be. Maybe you are basically right back at the current prices. Maybe you move up to the 0.5 and you consolidate or something like that. I just think, I mean, based off of this, let's take this kind of current trajectory into account here, right? Something like that. And it could go up more dramatically even, like who knows, but I think this is your target area, man. It makes sense to me. It looks about right. 618, 69 golden area. You go to your 618 on June 18th, 6-18, that might make sense. Watch that happen. That'd be crazy. But yeah, 57 to 84 potentially, but don't hold me to it, man. Time analysis is weird because you could do this and then come back down. Maybe you are there, but it's like from a down point. I don't know. But I do think, whoa, I do think LTCN will probably be around the 61869 if I really had to guess, based off of its trajectory. That's my best opinion for Jeff there. BCHG, same kind of thing, right? The chart for BCHG to me is more bearish than LTCNs. And I think I've said that in my last video. But the thing that's making me bullish, undeniably, you guys ready for it? I know you already know, right? It's that is the candle that is basically the doom to any BCHG bears. The doom to myself. I was a BCHG bear. I'm right there, guys. I literally have been calling for prices down at $1.80, $1.70 for quite some time. We just didn't get it. Got to call a spade whenever it happens. Let's just see here. This is what happened. Okay, to put it in perspective, let's do this. BCH USD new price scale. We'll logarithmicize it. So this, yeah, it's exactly kind of what I was thinking it was. Whenever we broke out for BCH, when we had that 2-3 week period where we moved up 260 something %, right? BCHG did the same thing, right? So the fact that BCH is moving up this, short of the idea that BCH pulls back dramatically before Monday, I think you're going to see BCHG take off, man. You're gonna get a gap. Whatever prices you can buy it in the opening hours is probably going to be the lowest price you'll be able to buy it at for a while. Now let's take some things into consideration here. Okay, so it did move up a lot, but then it pulled down a lot, right? You saw a pretty significant pullback. So even if on the closing of the week you're feeling the FOMO to buy, you actually could have bought at lower prices if you were just patient, inevitably patient, right? Imagine buying here, watching it go all the way up, and then you're now in the red. You might panic sell in that kind of situation. Just kind of further implementing why I personally don't chase things. And I do expect that next week, on Monday, Tuesday even, is going to promote FOMO mentality. And if you can snag prices before we take off above this high, it's probably fine. But not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do think BCHG wants to go up, man. I definitely do think it wants to go up. And the main thing, again, is being that the underlying asset, the last time we saw this kind of thing happen, this is what happened for BCHG. I don't see any reason why the exact same thing wouldn't happen now. Very bullish weekly RSI. Decent daily RSI. It's not really given enough, but the underlying asset is what's doing it for me. So as far as where is it going to go, relative high to low here, you are at, come on now. Come on, right there. You're at your 0.5. We'll see it at the 61869 around 780 or 1140, somewhere around there, maybe even higher. From a price perspective, it wouldn't be crazy to go to about 1870. That's where you have previous areas of support. Confirm that as resistance or something like that. You are in this kind of like channel upwards, right? So for Jeff asking where we're going to be during the summer, I would say anywhere from, I suppose June's here, so that's the summertime, right? Anywhere from 780 to 1870, somewhere in that range, probably above $10 in the summertime is what I would think. We're at 413 now. And for anybody that's wondering where I think BCHG is going to go for this cycle, I think 235 to 1400, that's probably where it's going to go, man, somewhere in that range. I very much do have high hopes for BCH, which is the only reason why I'm considering these ridiculous numbers up here, but it absolutely can happen. So yeah, that's just my genuine opinion. Anyways, moving on from there, I think that's it, actually. That's all we got, right? Yeah, so if you guys liked the video, hit that like button. I don't know what else to say, man. That's about it. Yeah, I'm expecting these underlying assets to do very well starting on Monday. But again, it's all, I say underlying assets. I'm sorry, the Grayscale trust. But that is all dependent on if these things reverse or not. This breakout move to me with that volume, very convincing. I don't think it's a fake move at all. Same thing with LTC, man. These moves look very, very real. Very strong readings. Are they just going to continue without any kind of pullback? No, probably not. They probably do pull back sooner than later, but they could go up a little bit higher first. So, yeah, I don't know if I have anything else I want to say, man. Yeah, take care. I'll see you on the next one. Hit that like button, and bye-bye.